Hello friends, I'm Kadir from 369 Tesla. I'm here on the topic of metals and non-metals. Let's start with metals. First we go on physical properties. There are four main physical properties known as lustrous, sonority, malleable and ductility. First go with metallic lusters. Lusters are known as the natural shiny particles around metals. For example, gold and silvers are more shiny than non-metals. For example, gold can be stretched more than non-metals. Silvers are more shiny. We are wearing more gold ornaments because it is luster. Okay, so metal has more luster than non-metals. Let's start with sonority. Sonority, the natural ringing sound of ringing. Let's we start. Okay, let me compare with metal and non-metals. Let me take wood and iron rod. Let me ring with the bell. Okay, every bells are made up of metals. It has high sonority. It will disturb more particles compared to non-metals. So non-metals does not have sonority compared to metals. Let me go with malleability. Do you know everything? Do you know that malleable is drawn into sheet and make into sheet? If you are sitting in the sheet, it is made up of metals. Metals are naturally malleable. It can be drawn into wires and drawn into shapes. Let me go into ductility. Ductility, drawn into wires. We are using wires to stretch earth wires. We are using copper wires to connect electricity. These are the four main properties, physical properties of metals. Then we go with physical properties of physical state. In room temperature, metals are solid. In room temperature, metals are solid, except one. That metal is known as mercury. It is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. Metal has high boiling point and high melting point. It is a good conductor of heat. Do you know one thing? Silver and copper, these are the main conductor of heat and electricity compared to other metals. Do you know one thing? Sodium and potassium are the metals that can be cut by knife. Let me move on to chemical properties. So, metal with oxygen gives rise to metal oxide. For example, copper plus oxygen gives rise to copper oxide. Second example, aluminum plus oxide gives rise to aluminum oxide. When metal reacted with water, it gives rise to, there are two types. Metal plus water gives rise to metal oxide plus hydrogen. Metal oxide plus water gives rise to metal hydroxide. Let me go with diluted HCl acid. When metals are reacted with diluted HCl acid, it will give salt plus water. Then we go straight to the reactivity series. Do you know one thing? Potassium, sodium are the soft metals that are mostly reactive with hydrogen, oxygen and water. Do you know one thing? Soft metals, these are the soft metals, but all of these are very soft metals that will not react and conduct electricity. Do you know one thing? Platinum, gold, these are all the lowest reactive metal with hydrogen, which is conduct electricity and heat. By this we can know which is the, in reactivity series, below it will conduct more electricity than high. Okay, let me step on into non-metals. In non-metals, there are no lustrous particles except one thing, diamond. It is the hardest particle among the world. It is the hardest, but it is also lustrous. But most of the non-metals are non-lustrous and not hardness. It is physical state. It might be gas or solid. For example, we can take wood. It is a gas. It is solid at room temperature. Other non-metals like water, these are all the fluids. Non-metals can maybe vary due its solid, liquid or gas. Let me move on to ductility. Non-metals are non-ductility. It cannot be malleable in a sheet. It cannot be shaped. Then we move on to lustrous. Non-metals are non-lustrous. Let me move on into its chemical property. Most of the non-metals will not react with water and acids. Then we move on to metalloid. It is a typical situation where both two or more metals combine to form and metal. For example, brass. Brass is a combination of copper, 79% of copper and 29% of zinc. It is combined to form a brass. Thank you.